There was once a lovely couple named Lotana and Kaima who shared beautiful moments filled with laughter and joy. Life was a celebration, and their connection seemed unbreakable. However, their world crumbled when Kaima had their first child after 5 years of marriage. It had turned out a stillbirth, a pale, scrawny-looking, lifeless mass covered in blood and amniotic fluid. The weight of grief cast a shadow over their once vibrant world, leading to a period of silence and sorrow. Tragically, there was an armed robbery attack in the neighborhood during this period, and Kaima was raped by the robbers. The couple were completely devastated after this traumatic break-in, and the pain lingered, creating a huge distance between them. Their once romantic conversations turned into hushed silence, and the spark that once fueled their love began to fade. During this period, Lotana embarked on a journey to Rwanda for a 1-week conference. There he found temporary solace in the company of another woman called Giselle, a connection that offered a brief escape from his inner turmoil. Returning to the country, Brian's guilt led him to confess to Rose about the affair after dinner. In the quietude of that evening, a moment of profound silence enveloped the room as Kaima meticulously collected the dishes. The delicate clinks of ceramics echoed in Lotana's mind long after Kaima gracefully withdrew from the dining room, tray in hand. Little did Lotana anticipate the unexpected calmness from Kaima, leaving him in a state of disarray. Lotana, grappling with a sense of regret, contemplated following Kaima. He wanted to convey that the indiscretion was a fleeting mistake, born out of a drunken moment that he already lamented. Yet his limbs seemed momentarily paralyzed, hindering him from expressing the turmoil within. Despite the air conditioner's cool breeze, Lotana felt an internal furnace igniting. The contrast between the physical coolness and emotional heat intensified his distress. He expected Kaima's wrath, a torrent of anger or thrown objects, but her calm response opened new chasms of guilt within him. The unexpected calmness plunged Lotana into a torturous labyrinth of guilt. He had anticipated a storm, a cathartic release of emotions, but Kaima's composed demeanor left him navigating through fresh and unexplored corridors of self-reflection. He was scampering about the sitting room when he began to hear sporadic gunshots outside. He rushed to his room to grab his rifle from his wardrobe. After the first robbery incident, he had bought the second-grade gun from a firearm dealer at Alaba Market and licensed it at the state police station. Kaima rushed into his room, frightened in panic, to announce they were armed robbers again in the neighborhood. The crescendo of panicked voices and the lethal sound of gunshots outside is unnerving. The intermittent squeaks of women and children, the loud growl of robbers dishing out command, the noisy crumbling of doors and barricades, people scampering about, guttural cries of men probably being manhandled, mingling with occasional gunfire. Kaima started to scream when they heard a machine gun raise down their front door in one deafening blast. This is followed by hefty, masculine footsteps shuffling about in the sitting room. Lotana could feel the pool of sweat in his armpits gradually trickling down his spine as the men advanced towards the door of the room. He tightened his grip on the gun and steadied. Its muzzle at the door. He knew he will not survive a confrontation with the criminals. But better to risk it all than risk scoundrels, making a caricature of his wife under his nose a second time without a resistance. What, after all, does it mean to be a husband, if not to be remembered a bold defender of one's spouse? Better that than to go down memory lane as an adulterous coward. The night unfolded as a test of bravery, and Lotana stood resolute in protecting the one he loved.